Okay. There it is. Sorry about that. Okay. Well, hello. How are we doing? I guess I'm here now. So, how are we all doing? Give me a second. I changed a couple of things again. I don't even have a hotkey for this one, actually. Desktop, chat top. Here we go. There we are. I'm here. Look. Angel got fired. So now, there's chat above me. But there's a lot of stuff in the chat, because I was testing it out. Obviously, you can see test. Anyway, I don't know how to fare. It just... I didn't like how small Godot looked, and if I want to make shorts again, I need chat to be like the same width as me, you know? So this is what we're testing today. Godot is like square, which is a thing. So, you know, I forgot to set up my monitor. Where is that? Let me see. What is this music? I don't recognize it. That's concerning. Open up Twitch so I can see how the stream actually looks. What was that noise? That was not... That didn't... Did that come from... I guess it came from... I don't actually know. I have to check on that. It's a disaster. I've had a couple of problem streams the last couple of days. I'm sort of losing my touch. Oh well, it is what it is. All right, so we're gonna keep going with the weapon upgrades. I've got a couple of things that we need to change. So yeah, we're gonna have a look at that. I think we can make a few improvements. So we'll go with that. Alrighty. Alright. Oh, I forgot to like shout out the chat. Shout out the stream. It's always a hassle channel. And then we'll go to Notepad. I need Notepad. And what are we doing? Continuing work. Continuing our work on the weapon upgrade system. Come distract me, since that's what people seem to do. Then paste that in. And then we go to Discord. Wrong Discord, although I should probably like be in studios. He did to collaborate more. Tutorial, promote yourself, general chat. Since I can do this, go add everyone. Add everyone's so OP. You are all going to get a notification. Send now. And then I guess I go to X. I still haven't fixed my my Linktree. I don't even know my login for Linktree. Hashtag Godot, I guess. I really hate X. I hate hashtags as well. Game dev. I'm just gonna do 2. Should I post to Facebook? I don't really like posting to Facebook. I don't really think it gets me much, and like my name is visible there, and it's weird, and it's like... Oh well, I'll do it anyway. YOLO. all the links everywhere. That's better. Okay, cool. Minimize, minimize, minimize. Okay, I guess that was the music. It's just playing stuff. It's fine. Might be a little bit too loud for you guys, so I'll just turn it down. And for me, it's like incredibly loud. Alright, what a bit of a bumpy start. Hello, person on the internet. Hey, Liam, welcome to the chat. Welcome to the stream. It's funny, I like changed, I changed the way that chat comes through to me, and now I can't always tell who it's coming from, like what platform, but now I've got it open, I can have a look at our weapon upgrade system. We were sort of in a pretty good place. I haven't streamed much this week. I wasn't really feeling like it, and I guess I was a little bit busy with work, being the end of the financial year. So essentially where we're at now is we have the ability to pretty much add any add-on we want, provided we've got a way to interact with it. But I was realizing that there was a bit of an issue with the way that we're putting the add-ons on the weapon. So we have this problem with resources. A lot of people like to tell me that what's the scale of this? Editor settings. Oh, it's 125, that's fine. We do like a 125, it's a little bit bigger for you guys. So a lot of people are saying, oh, you know, resources, they're read-only. Now, resources aren't read-only, but they are unique, or they're more like pointers. I don't know how to describe how they behave, other than the fact is, obviously, you can change them. But if you change it, it's the same everywhere you have a reference to it. It only refers back to one location. You need to duplicate it if you want to have two. But we can't do that. Actually, you know what? I say we can't do that, but I know that I changed the code so it doesn't rely on that anymore. So, in the weapon state machine, when we pick up a weapon, we do check the name now. So we could duplicate them if we wanted to. What is this music, bro? It sounds like we're in a horror movie. Alright, so we can actually duplicate them if we want to. Basically, the issue that we're going to run into is if we're not duplicating them, then the weapon add-ons or upgrades that we're putting on our weapon, the attachments that we're putting on our weapon, are going to be added to every single weapon on the ground, right? So that's kind of an issue, at least from a point of view where you don't really want someone to throw away the weapon. I mean, I don't even know if I want in this game, this quote-unquote game that I'm making, if I want the players to be able to drop and pick up weapons. I don't know. But at the moment, you could do that. So I kind of wanted to address that, where perhaps the attachments need to go on the weapon slot rather than on the weapon themselves. Now, I don't know how much of the code I'll need to change if I do that, or we can just look at duplicating the weapon resource instead, because on pickup detection, we were checking body slot dot or weapon in that. So we loop through our stack. We were checking if it was just the same resource, but now I'm checking the name. I could duplicate the resource, but the issue with that is it's actually a little bit intensive. So one of the problems that I had, I was making a game for a bit of a challenge with GWiz. We never ended up making a video on it, but I was tasked with making a game in an hour. It actually took me 3. That's just how it is. But in that game, I was making like procedurally generated planets, and it was all in a resource, right? But I just duplicated the resource every time I wanted to generate a new planet so that I could rejig the randomization on that procedural generation. Otherwise, both the planets would change because they're using the same resource. So every time I spawned a planet, I duplicated, and it totally tanked my frames. So duplicating a resource can be very intensive depending on what you're doing. You probably want to avoid it as much as possible, I would guess. You know, I think it's better to check the name and not duplicate the resource, but that does mean we need to move the weapon upgrades or the attachments that we've got into the slot because that's where they belong. So if you drop it, it's on the slot, which is like something we can it's still not unique. We just every time you spawn a weapon, when you drop it, it has a slot. That's what it is. And so it's a little bit better that way. So how we do that is, first of all, we have a look at what we're doing and see if any of this can really change. So we've got a signal to like upgrade. We could just pass it down. It's not a big deal. But that might not be the best. So we've got a signal that is connected. Well, we can just connect. We can just move this function. So what does it do? Let's zoom it out a bit because I can't see it all in one hit. Okay, Siri. I didn't ask, but that's fine. Why would you read that out? Excuse me. What the fuck? Anyway. Okay. So we are gonna go about doing this by okay. You're fired, mate. I don't know what the heck's going on here, but the music is all over the shop and I'm not happy with it. Oh my goodness. Stream media, music, Kevin MacLeod, the GOAT of jazz music. There we go. Much better. Alright, so we've got an option button to equip upgrades. So this is just coming from the UI and basically it just passes in the upgrade and it just gets the upgrade to change, get indexed. So it does a little bit with the weapon slot, current weapon slot, weapon, interesting. It's almost as if this is being called on the slot already. Oh yeah, because this is the weapon manager, so I actually don't need to change the code at all. Yeah, okay, so it's actually very doable to actually alter this, I think, and move the resource, move the weapon upgrades onto the weapon slot rather than the weapon resource itself. So let's get into that. I have to minimize this, and I really should close it every time actually. It's a better habit to get into. Oop. Okay, so let's have a look at the weapon manager. And we've got one slot and it's got upgrades, right? We don't have to change much. It's so annoying that you can't make that wider. The maximum width, I think I'm gonna have to go down to 100%. It's just gonna be what I need to do. So I can't work on it when it's that size. Alright, let me know if that's too much of a difficult viewing. Oh, I've got the monitor down here. I can double check that. All right, cool. Now I can actually see what I'm doing. And for some reason it can become wider. Like, I actually don't understand that. I guess the maximum width is a percentage or something. Hey Slacks, how are you? Welcome to the stream. Alright. So we've got the weapon upgrade, side upgrade, grip upgrade. Now we can just move these up a level and it should really be no issue at the end of the day. Like, that's not going to be a problem. I feel very confident about that. So we just need to go to the weapon resource. Weapon resource. And probably just remove those weapon upgrades. Actually take all of this because it relates to it. And then go to the slot. It's not here. Oh, I made a mistake there. That should look like this. I gotta get into the habit of just having everything on the right hand side because the layout is changed. So a bit of a challenge there. Sorry about that. I reckon I was learning this hotkey before. I can go, I think it's Control Shift F11 and I can make it big and it's still really readable. So I'm just gonna learn that one as well in terms of working with the new layout. So I need to look for the slot. And what we can do is just add those in. We can add the weapon upgrades. And yeah, I mean, where we put them has changed, but what they do hasn't really. And that was all still done from the weapon state machine, which is the thing that controls both of them. So instead of going to current weapon slot, I can just go current weapon slot plus weapon upgrade. I should probably also make this like percentage S, right? I'm really bad at that. I need to get better. Percentage S. String formatting. Actual string equals format string. Oh, I see. But that still doesn't really make format string, actual string. I guess it's like what I do is I put percentage S here and then afterwards I put this in square brackets. You can also reduce the left panel with the code Control plus something. Yeah, actually, CP2 Fubar, welcome to the stream. How are you? You're right. There is edit, I believe, file. I forget what that is. I've seen that in, yeah, Slacks is in the chat. The goat. Bottom arrow. Indentation, control, complete, trim, deselect it, blah 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 blah. Wait, you got me so lost now. At the toggle script, control backslash, okay. Okay, yeah, that's not bad. And then it becomes like really readable. And this still needs to be bigger because I feel like it's, I worry a lot about readability on stream. I think it can be difficult to see it all. Oi, oi, current 80 needs to go. Get out of here. Best viewers on that. No one cares. Alright. Cool, cool, cool. When are you going to do regular uploads again? Don't ask me that question. Called out. Not important. One day. When am I going to do? I really don't have a good answer. How often the mini... Also, this thing here is not bad. I like to use it to get up and down real quick. I quite like it, actually. Although I don't know how to toggle the visibility on that, though. Who knows? Anyway, the point is, this should be okay in terms of like how we structure it. Sorry, I'm still semi-awake state. That's okay. And I think it will be better. Weapon upgrade. And same with this here. Percentage S. I don't know how this, I mean, realistically, it's very similar. But I think people prefer it. I've broken it, and now I'm gonna have to fix it. So annoying. Trying to wake up some more here too. Oh, it must be early in the early morning for you guys, or late. All right, cool. Okay, so the percentage after needs a percentage after the string. No. I don't know. I was just copying the docs. That's a good question. Does it need this? Yeah, right? This is what you're saying. Morning, NA Games. How are ya? Simple conversion to string. Yeah, yep. Yeah, we'll give that a go. I probably shouldn't try changing things too much while I am also refactoring this. So, but I do need to find out. I need to check every single weapon upgrade because now I believe it's in the initialization function. I need this back. Initialize upgrades. In the initialize upgrades, I connect a signal to the upgrade. That's fine because I'm passing in the upgrade. But here I'm going weapon slots.weapon.upgrade. Good and exhausted from week's work. Time to relax. Nice. Yeah, I'm feeling the pinch too. It's been really busy at work. I'm getting grilled by auditors right now, and it is not fun. All right, so if I go weapon slot.weapon, no. That's not correct. Remove the weapon. Weapon slot.upgrades rather than weapon slot.weapon.upgrades. And that should work a lot better. Anywhere else where I guess here these are good because it doesn't matter. I'm just passing in the upgrade and doing the operation, so it should be fine. It doesn't care about anything else, the path of it or anything like that. We're getting the upgrades, so that's good. All right, so we're getting through it. That should be really the last spot. Oh, here we go. Weapon site upgrade. Here we go. ADS, the inputs that we're checking for. All right. Animation finish, yada, yada, yada. Okay, let's just run until we see what breaks and go from there. All right. That's going to be the plan, as I like to do. All right, here we go. Control-Shift-11. So we've got the function weapon and populate upgrades. So we can just go that, populate upgrades. Weapon slot.weapon is basically what I want to look for. That's what I should do. I have 41 matches for weapon slot.weapon. Oof. Okay. Yeah, but that's not really the problem. I want to look for weapon slot.weapon.upgrade. No match. Okay. Does anyone use the code blocks feature regularly? I don't even know what that is. What is Godot code blocks? Code blocks in Godot? Is that like this? I don't know. I know that Godot is looking for an alternative. Wait. Okay, this is a Reddit post from like God knows when. What if visual scripting was made of blocks instead of nodes? Is it visual scripting? You can organize your script into code blocks with a comment string. Oh, yeah. I actually think I know what you're talking about. No, I don't use that. Yeah, you can do a lot with the comments in Godot though. I use them like in the weapon resource. I use them here to like give a description to the variable so that if I'm in the editor and I hover over the resource, it will tell me what it does. So the reference for the active weapon, the animation to play when the weapon is picked up, yada, yada, yada. So it's really clear if I ever get confused. If unchecked, shoot function will skip ammo check. So you can do it. A melee weapon, that's what that's for. I should have just put that down. Like, I should add that to the description. But yeah, I use codes like, I don't use the block feature though. Okay, let's run this again, see if it breaks. Okay, we're in. Let me just move this so that's in the frame. And now let's try to add a laser sight. Here we go. No, that's not the button we want to press. I'm still learning my keybinds. Invalid site upgrade. Invalid get index site upgrade on base string. Okay, so here we go. Upgrade to change is null. Is this because I changed like the string reference? African folklore legends, welcome to the stream. How are you? I was not expecting a name like that. Welcome, welcome. Alright. Set in get index. It says invalid get index site upgrade on base string. I don't really even understand the error. Why don't I just, we'll worry about formatting it like that later. And just go back to the way it was so that I can debug the script and get it working. And then we'll do the formatting later because the Discord was clowning on me. So we'll go back. That needs a plus. All right. Rerun that. Gonna have to fix that. Also, is this music a bit loud for you guys? It's very loud for me. Yeah, laser sight. A hand grip. A. It's working. Yep. Okay, great. So, I guess that's the good thing about having. Well, to be honest, I don't know if this is clean code, but at least it's structured in a way that it was not a great deal of effort to change that around. Now, let's see if we can get this formatting going because, and I guess the main advantage of that is so that when you drop the weapon, there isn't like multiples. Not that you can, I suppose technically, I can't even drop this weapon yet, but if you could, there would be that resource because they are immutable, not immutable, what's the word? They are unique. They're just a reference. All you do is you get a reference to a resource. So We need to separate the things that we don't want to be unique onto a different resource or duplicate. I don't want to duplicate, so we're separating that particular aspect of the resource. So we've got that. Now let's see what else we need to get done here for this feature. I sort of want to get a better UI going, but I think I probably need to create a few more different types of upgrades, right? So I should probably get back into Blender and see what we can add to it. So we'll launch that. There's general. Probably have like a really bad time trying to find the project again. It keeps happening. I believe it's an OBJ, the particular weapon that I'm using. Upgrade meshes, weapon model, M4A. I think I found it straight away. Cool, that's good. Okay, so, oh, silencer, obviously. Great. And then I guess the ammo, is that a bigger ammo? I actually can't tell. It looks the same to me. Yeah, I think they're identical. All right. But yeah, silencer is a good choice for sure. Laser pointer. These are all really good ideas. And I've noticed that this one doesn't have like the top thingo. This also has like a different kind of laser. I don't know how I'd represent that. It's a torch. Oh, that's a torch. That's a laser. Okay. Okay. We can work with this. So why don't we have like a barrel upgrade, and we can also do front grip. Yeah, well, we have that already. So we've got that. We've put those in the game already. We can put the silencer. And I guess the other thing to think about is, well, yeah, I guess it's okay to have the torch in front of the hand grip. That's fine. So I get, I'm not trying to do like a military sim kind of game. So I don't want to get too caught up in like getting accurate about the kind of attachments that I want to make. But I do need to have like a fairly clear structure about like, where's GIMP? I draw a picture. So what I'm wanting to achieve with the UI essentially is like, if I have a weapon, right? My very beautifully drawn weapon. I'm an artist, okay? And I sort of want, I don't, like right now it's, I guess I can show you guys because you might not have seen it. Like you're meant to press the X button and you can change things. Like the UI is just permanently there because I'm lazy. Clearly a blunderbuss, yeah. Like that's sort of the idea behind what I was doing to just get it working. But I actually don't want it to be like this. This is cool. This is really good. But it's not the kind of game that I'm making. I want like if I picture it in between rounds, it's not rounds, it's going to be like you go, you do your thing, you come back and you go to like a station and you do it. Kind of like if you guys ever played Metro, specifically the last Metro, you do it like you're on the train, right? And when you're on the train, you can go to the place to upgrade your weapons. That's what I'm thinking, rather than this. So basically what am I going to do it diegetic? I don't know. But if we go back to my wonderful drawing here, I basically want to have like little pictures, like, and we can like choose to upgrade, like, yeah, we're going to upgrade this, we're going to upgrade that. Maybe we'll do like 5, we'll aim for 5 different upgrade types. I guess one of them has to be on the barrel. So we'll have like a sight, we'll have a grip, we'll have a barrel, a stock upgrade, and I don't know, maybe a trigger. Can you actually upgrade the trigger on a weapon? I don't know. It doesn't matter again. Or maybe let's just go for 4 to begin with. We'll just yeet that one off and just go like, yeah, you can upgrade the back of it to do something. You can do the barrel, you can do the sight, and you can do the grip. And we'll roll with that. And depending on how the game evolves, then we'll go from there. Magazine upgrade. Oh, good point. Yes, ammo. Point that at the ammo. Okay, then we've got our 5th thing. So clearly, based on this wonderful drawing here, you guys all understand what I'm trying to achieve right now. Anyway. Round types, hollow piercing. Maybe. Yeah, we can expand it. Basically, I don't want to like I said, I'm not trying to make a military simulation game, so it's meant to be more laid back than that. So we'll keep it light to begin with before getting into like the bullet types. In fact, I think the magazine upgrades might be different kind of bullet types. I think that's a good idea for what I want to do, because this is meant to be like a wave shooter. So like every time you go out into wherever it is that you go, there's going to be enemies coming towards you in greater and greater quantities or at greater speeds or whatever it is. So maybe you want to have like ammo that slows down the enemy and ammo that burns the enemy. I don't know what it is. Like, you know, things like that. I'm trying to get like more creative with it than just like, we can put a sight on it. Although sight will be one of the upgrades, because that's like pretty obvious as something that is going to be in the game. Like if you wanted to make your gun zoom more. And I think a silencer is a good idea. Or whatever else, I don't know. You can chop the end off your shotgun. But yeah, okay, so let's try to think. So I guess where I'm going to go now. Now that we've pushed it onto the weapon slot, you've got your upgrades. Let's try and think of some other upgrades. And I think we've done it anyway. So what if you focus on attribute upgrades, precision, fire rate, reload time? Yeah, that's actually a really good point. It's probably a path I want to go down rather than, I still do like the visual changes. So, yeah, so maybe with, cause like same thing with the stock, like if you're upgrading the stock, what's it going to do in the game? You know, maybe it's going to, create a better accuracy or whatever. Oh no, the hand grip's doing that. Anyway, Red Rabbit Resistance, welcome to the stream. How are you? Good morning to you. It's good evening to me. Alrighty, so now, yeah, okay, I agree with what you're saying, CBT Fubar, Captain Fubar. I think that's actually a really good idea. And so we can assign certain attributes to different areas of the weapon that we're going to do. So obviously the sight, that's more just zoom. I don't think we'll need to do like a stat on that. But yeah, the hand grip is going to reduce the precision. The ammo can do whatever the ammo does. Like I think I want to get crazy with that and make it do all sorts of different things. But it's so early days. I just want to get an upgrade system going, and then I'll worry about like building it out, if you know what I mean. All right, let's get rid of this output thing, so we actually, let's get rid of it and then bring it right back so I can have a look at the app. So we got grip, export, ammo upgrade. I like that a lot. It's not going to exist yet as a type, but we'll add it in later. I am well, thank you. Living vicariously through dev streamers. Well, I mean, that's a good place to start. You're going to like pick up a few things. Maybe you'll learn about what you want to create, and then you get to go from there. Ammo upgrades. Geez, I'm forgetting everything we said. So we've got sight, grip, ammo, barrel. Or a muzzle. I don't know what to call it. It's like, these don't exist yet. Not yet. Muzzle or barrel? I think I'll just go with muzzle for now. the end of the weapon. It's not that. Goodness, I know exactly what I want to create. I just don't have the time. Yeah, well, actually, you know what? I'll be honest with you. I'm the exact same. I don't really have the time. I also like, I go up and down. Like I've been, you know, working with game dev stuff for like 4 years, pretty much. Like I don't want to say full time, but because I obviously have a job, but like I guess I would say like I'm putting in more than 10 hours a week into like game dev since 2020, and I don't really have like the time or the attention span to make like a full game. But like just I guess now at this point I'm like, okay, I'm gonna actually see if I can make a prototype, see if it's fun, and like go from there, and actually see if I can make something. And if I can, then I'll keep going. But if I can't, maybe I'll just go back to making tutorial videos. Okay. So the thing is, if you're making tutorial videos all the time, you don't have time to actually make a game. At export, muzzle upgrade. What was the last one? Where's my incredibly detailed... So I got grip, sight, muzzle, and then stock, back stock, and then ammo, right? Okay, so we did that. We've done that, we've done that, we've done that, and we've done that now, so we just have to do the back. I don't know what that's called. The stock? Expert stock upgrade. Okay. And we stop. No more different kinds of upgrades, and we'll just like give them different attributes. And I also need to think of a way. I was thinking about this. I'm like, I'm gonna need a stat sheet like for the weapons to pull from, so that they can get to this information, potentially, because like at the moment I'm creating functions, and I'm changing attributes when they're equipped and stuff like that. But I feel like it would be better to check that stuff as the action is happening. So when you fire, go and have a look at some kind of stat that's held somewhere so that we can alter it. Because how I'm doing the grip, so the grip increases the precision, or it improves the precision of the weapon. So if I go to the projectile, we've got a function. Are the weapons modulated? They are at the moment. So I can give you a quick demo because you probably weren't here. Oh, it's real mad because I added those in, but I haven't created them yet. Let me just comment that out. So we've got the regular A4, and we can add like a scope, we can add a hand grip, and they do actually do stuff. So the scope will give you the ability, I haven't animated anything yet. The scope will give you the ability to zoom in. And if I say go to the laser sight, it just does a regular zoom. And if you didn't have anything equipped, then it wouldn't do anything. And then the hand grip does actually improve the spray. You can see these red dots represent spray. Yeah, see, I was testing it. You can actually see down the bottom there, I've got a current spray of 4, and the new spray, which is calculated on the fly, is 2.8. So we're sort of in that realm of improving that. But the way that I was doing that, get this out of here. It wasn't in projectile. Was it hit scan damage? This is the parent class. Where did I do it? Class name projectile, signal hit successful. It should be here, realistically, but it's not. And why is that? Bear with me. This button, focus mode, Control Shift 11. So weapon slot, weapon, projectile to load, open scene, projectile. No, Control Shift 11. Gotta remember to hit that hotkey instead. I really don't like the way that Windows handles like the second window. It just gets annoying when you minimize it and try to bring it back. It doesn't feel good. Elo, my man, how are you, EMS? Welcome in. Okay, so we've got, this does look like the same function. How the heck am I doing this? Where is the damage applied? I've forgotten. I only did that on Monday. Oh, it was Tuesday, sorry. Set projectile. The damage gets passed in. So perhaps I'm doing it in the weapon manager. That's the only explanation. Projectiles apply damage, not the actual gun, usually. Yes. Did I do movement abilities? No. That'll be like in a long time. I think we discussed that last time. I'm not doing that until like we've got a comprehensive like system, because the game loop is essentially like it's your typical, you go out, you complete the wave or whatever, you come back and you upgrade your weapon and you go out to the next level. So like I've got to make that game loop before I think about the way things move. Basic mechanics, yeah, ballistic mechanics. Okay, so yes, the projectile does do the damage, but the calculation doesn't happen on the actual projectile. The projectile just receives the damage information. So the weapon manager must do it. I'm guessing. Bit lost. No, but it was in the spray. It's not the projectile. That's what I'm getting confused. It's not the projectile. It's the spray that does the spray. Like I'm thinking about projectiles. There's a separate object for the spray. So if I go back to the weapon resource, it's so complicated I can't even remember it. I've got a projectile and I've got a weapon spray. And if I go to the weapon spray, then here will be the calculation. Mechanics like rockets? Yeah, kinda. It's like upgrades. We're still doing upgrades. We're gonna be upgrades for weeks, guys. I'm slow. I keep telling you, I'm not good at this. I just, you know, like when you make content, it looks like you are. That's like the double-sided thing of it. If it shoots, yeah. Okay, so get spray. All right, and this is where I'm doing the new calculation. So I've got a function that just gets the spray multiplier from the current spray multiplier, and then it subtracts the stat change. So like, I don't know if this variable should be in the spray or it should be in some higher level thing. Technically, it's in the upgrade. So the upgrade has that information. So if I look at the Control-Shift-11, if I look at the actual weapon upgrade for the grip, grip upgrade 1, you can see that it's got a spray amount, and this is a reduction amount. So it reduces it by it changes it to 70%. That's what it does. So this is I guess a 30% improvement. I probably need to revisit the math, but we'll worry about that later. Where is the doggy? I changed my layout because like I liked having Angel on screen, but you know, it wasn't like I can search damage in all the scripts at once. I mean, you are right, Vishal, but big picture, I wasn't looking for damage. I was just confused. You are correct though. Yeah, Angel, I fired Angel because she I need the chat above me if I want to make shorts. So it needs to be the same width as me, unfortunately. And I felt like I was cutting out too much of the Godot as well. So we do all the chat and me on this side and Godot on that side. And well, I mean, she was just sleeping anyway. Anyway, let's get back to it. Where am I? I am in Brisbane, Australia. America? Nah. Nah, man. At the bottom of the world. All right. So now, okay, so yeah, that's a consideration, but I guess I should focus on the actual task at hand, which is actually building out the upgrade mechanics so that I've actually got something that I can work with and make a complete game loop. So it's like, I need to focus on just getting it up and running. Let's not worry about what the actual upgrades do, because I don't think that's where the fun is. Like, obviously the fun is going to be like, oh, I got this like thing, but like, yeah, we'll see. Want to join but have no money. I don't understand what you're asking, actually. Do you mean like the membership? If you don't have any money, don't do it. You just get your name on the screen at the end of the video and a couple of assets that I've made. So, yeah. Don't worry about it, man. You don't, yeah, it's all good. I don't need the money. Missing connecting on tree exiting for tree exiting node player character. What the heck? What the? Let's not focus. Focus. I've been getting so distracted lately. It's been insane. So, weapon slot. We need to create these 3 upgrades and give them something to do. So, come to the upgrades and create a new script. And we'll call it ammo. Have I tried Unreal? Yeah, I have. I tried to learn it. It's fine. Sounds like might be time for coffee. I had a coffee right before I started. It doesn't help. Ammo, TikTok, Instagram, Reels, or whatever has just ruined my attention span. I'm convinced. Ammo upgrade. And then we go create new script. What about Unity? Yep, I've done them both. I was pretty close to completing a course in Unity. I had both. I purchased a course in both. This was way back in 2018. And I was learning Unity. I was going to learn both and then just like see. I really was mostly interested in learning how to code. And I got like maybe 3/4 of the way through the Unity course and then just started using Godot instead. So it is what it is. Godot is the most user-friendly and lightweight. Yeah, exactly. It's a lot better in that regard. I was using Linux at the time. I still do use Linux. Linux, just type it out. Upgrade. And it's the easiest one to get up and running. They all run on Linux, but like in terms of Godot is made to run on Linux. And so it just is a lot better in that regard. And so, yeah, I just started using Godot and I was in love. There's no other way to put it. Like, it is, for me, just something that I have connected with better than the other engines. Stock upgrade? Yeah. Bye-bye, disappear. Despair? See you later, man. I was using Unity before, then all the legal stuff happened and I pissed myself. Yeah, I mean, listen, they backtracked on that a lot. My biggest thing with that was that for the average indie, like if you're just doing it as a hobby on your own, it probably doesn't matter. It depends what your goals and aspirations are, of course. If you made a game and it was successful in Unity, you could always port it to another engine if you wanted to save a few bucks, I guess. But yeah. Okay, so now I gotta get back into upgrade. These all extend the wrong thing, so I wasn't paying attention. They should extend the weapon upgrade. Ammo upgrade? But yeah, like it's a bummer that they did that stuff, eh? But yeah, hot take, I don't think it's that big a deal for the average user. I mean, I'm hypothesizing that if you wanted to change, like if you made a game and it turned out to be like, as big as I don't know, what's that game that Concerned Ape made? It's the farming sim. I'm forgetting the name of it. If you made a game that big, then you'd probably have the cash, and it wouldn't matter. It's a tax. Road to Vostok. He switched, and that's fine. I think, if you want to switch, that's great, because I think Godot is better. But at the same time, I don't know. I mean, they backtracked anyway, so it's not really even worth talking about. Stardew Valley, thank you. Yeah. So yeah, Stardew Valley. If you made a game that went as bananas as that, then yeah, maybe it's not going to matter. But I mean, it's still a shitty move. The thing is, like, I don't think they should do it on like games that have already been made, right? Like people will make different decisions based on that. Like some people are just going to be like, no, I just don't want to deal with that. Some businesses are going to be like, I don't care. But it shouldn't be respective of the game that was already created, right? Because they made their decision based on like the past. But if you're making a game, yeah, fair enough, whatever. It's got some fees attached to it. It's about trust, yeah. Yeah, right? Like, but I didn't realize. It's the whole ritual of deleting everything and posting obscenities on my socials. Yeah, it's like, yeah. It is about trust though. That's a key thing, right? Like if you don't know what the company is going to turn around and change, like how often do they change their terms of service? Because I feel like it's every 12 months. Like that wasn't the first time that they've had a scandal with their terms of service, right? It's crazy. You don't want the terms of service to be changing that often. And if you do, you don't want it to apply to previously created products. I might be talking out of my ass. Maybe it wasn't retrospective. I assumed it was. I didn't read it, to be honest. I was on holidays when it happened. Site upgrade, muzzle upgrade, stock upgrade. Adobe recently did something here. Adobe fucking sucks too, eh? They're horrible. I actually despise them. Maybe I should hate them as much as I hate Unity. I just feel like it's so anti-consumer. I guess that's really their 2AS breaches my NDA. Yeah, that's right. They were going to take everything and use it to like train their AI, which is just insane. Like it feels so gross. That's the biggest issue, right? Like all of this stuff, at the end of the day, it's like very clearly in pursuit of profits. It's like they spend all of their time trying to create value for their shareholders rather than trying to create something of value for their consumers. It's insane. Yeah, okay. Fuck Unity. I changed my mind. You guys convinced me. It is, yeah, it's actually insane now that I'm putting it into words and thinking about like the motivations, the way that they behave with this idea that, like they're trying to make more money for their shareholders, but that's not what should matter. What should matter is what they create for their users and the people that are working with their product. If they made like the most amazing product, they would make more money rather than having to skim from the top because they can't seem to get any more money. And I mean, it goes back to that whole problem, right? Because Adobe, Unity, they are the biggest players in their market. They probably don't have more consumers to capture. They've already sucked up they're at like market capacity. I don't know what the term is, but they're at market capacity. They can't bring in any more users. And so instead of creating a better product, because they're already Photoshop is pretty good. Unity is a good engine. And they've already captured all the market. So what do they do instead? They start trying to take money from their users. I'm freelance illustrator and all my work is NDA. And I'm in a position where I have to consider long-term what would happen to me using it. Well, yeah, I mean, it's kind of crazy, right? Like they're going to take it and train it with their AI, which means that like someone could potentially put a prompt in and get exactly what you made out, right? We already know that's possible. That's yeah, it's actually insane. Like, what do? You start using Inkscape or something. I'm a 3D artist who learned everything using Blender, and Blender is the best thing in my life. That's why I want to learn Godot as my first engine. Pure freedom, yeah. That's the same reason I went into it. I was just like, I was learning Unity. Well, like I said, I went to Linux and it's just better. But then, like, even when you think about what engine you should use, it's like, it's 100% free. And you never have to worry about any of this bullshit. Yeah, that's wild. Yeah, I hate AI. Well, I don't hate AI. It's like, I hate what we're doing with it. Blender is the chef's kiss to 3D art. It's really good. Before I tried to learn how to code, I learned how to use Blender. I'm not very good. I'm not the most creative, but yeah. Let's delete all this stuff. Upgrades. Have I got them all? 1, 2, 3, 4. Am I missing one? Yeah. No, wrong button. Control Shift 11. In a couple of years, Godot will mature fast enough to be a parody of the Unity. It's going to take over the market. I 100% agree with you. Like, at least as general purpose engine without the bloat. Yeah. At some point, because Godot is getting so good now, at some point it's going to eclipse the mainstream. And it'll just be like everyone who's like a solo developer or a small time developer is going to use Godot. And only like AAA will use these big engines and pay for them because like they're looking for support or something. I don't know. I actually don't know what the draw would be versus creating your own engine or using something for free. You know? But I think the big thing is third-party support with Godot. Like people making add-ons, and there's a lot of people making add-ons. I've made add-ons, but like there's probably fewer people making like high-quality add-ons. It's the Blender of game engines, absolutely. Yeah, Blender of add-ons. I mean, I guess I just uncomment these and see what breaks, and then that'll help me jog my memory. Ammo upgrade doesn't exist. There we go, now we know. It does, it's just not named. It's spelled wrong. Okay, awesome. So now we've got all 5 upgrades. Godot can export to HTML5 now too. Yeah, it does web okay. Here come the vibes. Vibing Game Dev. Welcome. How are you? Welcome, welcome. I've changed my layout the same as business IT area. Most companies go with big names for software, hardware because of accountability and support. Yeah, it's all about that. It's so weird. I get that all the time at work. I'll give them some advice and I'll say, I think we should do this. And they'll go, okay, great. We'll schedule a meeting with our consulting team and we'll get back to either like yada, yada, yada. And then we'll go and we'll sit down with the consulting team and we'll tell them what we're trying to do. And they'll say, you should do this. And if we agree, then we agree and we do the thing. Sometimes we don't agree and we end up doing what the consultants say because consultants. It's like, it's such a circus. It's like, I mean, I could tell you when we could just do the thing, or we can sit down with some people and we can talk about it for 5 weeks and never have anything done yet. It's ridiculous. That's why, like, when people talk about how AI is going to take your jobs, then I automatically think, I'm not super worried about that right now because I know how slow corporations move sometimes when it comes to this kind of thing. They need programmers and creators to give ways to monetize like Blender did with Blender Market. Yeah, I agree, Vishal. Like it is one of the things that's lacking at the moment. Like monetization is a little bit scarce when it comes to being able to create things for Godot and not just games that you can monetize. And to be honest, even if that did exist, I think it would be pretty hard to get the user base to invest their own money in purchasing those things. And obviously that's going to come with more business consumers, people with actual money to spend, versus just the indie developer, because the indie developer probably isn't the target for that. You want like teams, studios to be the target for commercial products, third-party support and all that kind of stuff. So it just needs time. It probably needs like a good 5 more years before it gets to that point. All right. I need to make my add-ons do stuff, my upgrades. Godot needs its own Steam platform. What do you mean by that? You mean like it needs a Steam, because you have to get like a separate engine for that right now, don't you? Like Steam Godot, it's an add-on, or is it like a separate build? I actually can't remember. I haven't checked in a while. But if that's what you mean, yeah, probably it does need that support probably baked in, because Steam is Steam. Player character. I need to go to, so ammo upgrade. This is a pretty easy one to start with. Control Shift 11. Let's just get all the upgrades up. All right, so, well, how Steam has a sales library, but also hosts games too, like MMOs. They have their own hosting service and take a cut. Yeah, okay. The most hilarious part about AI is that it could perfectly substitute management board of companies because it can be trained with factual decision making, unlike the actual productive jobs that require human intelligence and creativity. Yeah, I mean, it can do a lot of that stuff. I've given it a test run for some of the work that I do, and it performs pretty badly when it comes to knowing facts. And I don't know what to like. There is a sort of legal element to what I do for a job, and so like, it knows the basics, but it really doesn't know. It can't work with a specific thing. Like, I feel like it breaks down when you get specific with it. So I work with leases, and I say, here's a lease, based on like the lease accounting rules. Like, how should I do? This is the like event that's happening. What should I do? And it's just like, don't know. But you can ask it like, what are the like standard practices when it comes to accounting for leases, and it'll tell you, and it's correct. But yeah, don't ask it specifics. And I think, like, I guess what you're saying is like, you can train it to talk like management or execs, and it would do fine. It would do probably really good. I would probably rather deal with an AI than deal with some of the people that I work with, you know? Yeah, I think I'll have AI boss. That would probably be better. All right. So now we've got a grip upgrade. So grip upgrades improve the precision. Ammo upgrades, I want them to do a lot, to be honest. But for now, I guess we can increase the capacity of the magazine as just something to get it to do something. Could it do the damage? Muzzle upgrades. Well, we can add a silencer. That's very specific though. And there's no sound in the game, so that's not really going to do anything apart from a visual thing. And then the stock, we can have that. We could do 2, right? Like, could improve fire rate maybe? Bit of a strange thing for it to do. The sight, I mean, it really just does that. Muzzle. Which one of these should improve the damage? That's the real question. I'm thinking possibly the muzzle or the ammo. Yeah, because I guess it's like at damage. Export var ammo, yeah, I reckon. So I guess I could be like damage increase. Like we'll have a weapon have a base damage and then we'll feed it an increase variable. Why separate scripts for each upgrade? So that I can validate them and perform. It's essentially, it will allow me to segregate all the different variables. Like if it was a single script, I could do it this way 100%. If it was a single script with weapon upgrades, then I would need to have every single variable in this single script. And it would be really confusing and difficult to know which ones are which. And like, oh, I can't use the damage for the site, or I mean, I could technically, but like that function call only expects a certain kind of thing, yada, yada, yada. Using custom resources, yes, they all derive from resource. So they're basically custom resources. And so I can show you guys here, if I look at the grip upgrade, it has very specific, like it's got a name, it's got a spray amount. So these are like within the weapon upgrade umbrella. We've got name, type, mesh, and here we've got a specific variable called like spray amount. And then same if you go to the site, there's a lot of unused. I need to clean this up because this was before I really knew what I was wanting to do. And so like realistically, I just need like the animation and the overlay to show and the zoom amount, because I had like this idea and I could still build this in. I could move this down to weapon upgrades where there's an upgrade name or an upgrade variable. And I've done this in the past with my first upgrade system that I did for the game jam, where it was literally a string, and you can I basically said like, what's the object name, what's the string for the function that you want to call, and like what's the value you want to put in. And so you can create like a custom function for something you want to change, and then in the upgrade variable you put the name in, you put the function in as a callable and the amount, and you pass it to a singleton, and it just does like everyone who is upgradable registers to that singleton, and it just says, wait, who's this for? And then that person does a callback, and then it calls the function on it. It works. So you can do stuff like that. Upgrade variable name, upgrade variable function. Maybe I'll put this down here for like a last ditch thing if I want to create something that just does a very specific thing. Or I don't know, like I don't like it. It's very like general and it takes more work. I'm trying to create something that is like, once we've decided what it does, that's all it does. And we can just focus on creating different kinds of upgrades. Anyway, damage increase. I guess this will be a float, right? I forget. I've done this wrong. It's not happy. And the default will be 0. And yeah, we'll go with that. Damage increase. And yeah, someone else was mentioning that like, it could be explosive or, oh yeah, CBT Captain Fubar, Incinerity ammo, for example. Yeah, 100%. We could do that. This could hold export var projectile. So actually, what we can have a damage increase variable. We could have a projectile. Projectile to load, as I call it. And this is actually going to be a projectile. Oh, that's a bit noisy. And this is cool. I guess this comes back to a node export is only supported for a node-derived class, but the current class inherits weapon upgrades. What? Pack scene, I guess? It has to be a pack scene. It's really a bummer you can't type a pack scene. And so what we can do is we can actually give it a projectile as an upgrade. And we can just create all sorts of different projectiles. And then we just create a function to receive that on the weapon upgrade. So that's pretty good. I like that. That's really all we need with that. We won't worry about visuals for this one. And that's a good idea actually, because, so let's work on that. Create new folder, resource, ammo upgrade. And we'll just call it ammo upgrade 1. Super specific. And we can give it a damage increase of, I think the defaults are in like lots of 10. So if I go to like any of the projectiles, hit scan projectile. Oh, the damage is actually on the, it's going to be a challenge actually. The damage sits with the weapon. So maybe I need to move the damage to the projectile. Look, the damage sits on the projectile, not on the weapon. And then that way I can actually manipulate that a lot easier. A lot more easily. Excuse my English. So we move this variable down to the projectile. And that way we'll be able to manipulate it without having to worry too much about having to go to different places for different things, because that's like not great. I think that's probably the right choice. I believe this already has a variable called damage. So it has a variable called damage and it just receives it. Like that's literally it. It takes it like when this gets loaded, it takes that variable. So we can remove that and just have it be damage equals damage. And I'm pretty sure I'm sort of just passing it around, so it should be fine. Like here, this is a problem here where I've used the wrong variable. I'm calling the function, passing in the damage, but I'm using like the global variable. I much prefer if I do that, because that's the whole point. Just in case, you know, you want to override something. It's 18 matches. Ugh. Pass through damage. Match or word. Body hit successful. And Interesting. I'll have to think about that one. Damage equals damage, and then we pass it. But we're not even passing it. Oh no, actually that's, I guess technically the correct way to do it. Oh, it's a different origin point. Fire projectile doesn't even take damage. This has got some problems, eh? Set projectiles okay. These ones, I don't know if I like that. Like, maybe we should pass it through if that's the pattern we're doing. And then on body entered, I think that's okay because that's a callback that I set up specifically for the physical projectile that we might launch. So that one I'm okay with. This one, I think if I'm gonna be passing it to the hit scan, then I should be passing it to the projectile, passing it to the fire projectile function as well. Oh, this doesn't have any defaults. So I'm going to just go damage. This is a float, yeah. If I can spell. And then here, this will be the only place that we use that variable. The rest is all just called functions. And then I just need to remember to do that here. And so now, we've got damage, damage, damage. Fine. If I set it, then what's the point? I guess the point was so that I could come and change it like I'm about to do. So now, yeah, man, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know if this is the best idea. Whatever, let's do it. OnReady. That doesn't need to be an OnReady. It needs to be add export. Export var damage. And let's move that up. Default 10. Base damage. Anyway. And then we can remove this. Then remove this. And then it's pretty funny now. It's one of those things that I really needed a separate function because, I mean, it looks like it doesn't make sense, but it does make sense for the way that like you can override this function. So yeah, set projectile just goes fire projectile and it passes in damage. And that's fine. And now we've got a damage variable here. And in the weapon resource, we can remove that. Export. Call a function to call. To call a function. Hey, have a productive day. Thank you, Frank. Elemental Magic card game. How's it going? I'm great. How are you? Welcome to the stream. I am debating. I have this issue where I don't know the words, if that makes sense. Like I don't know the lingo. Why not call it Fallout Fire Projectile directly so that I can override the function and not rely on it? So the reason that I did that was mostly for the shotgun. So if I go back to that projectile, there it is there. We have the function set projectile. Now this gets called by the weapon manager because it knows when the input's happening and it calls and it spawns the projectile and it calls this function set projectile. It passes in a bunch of information. The range of the weapon, the origin point, like literally where the origin point? Actually don't know what that means. I have to review. So it passes in set tip top right. On the top right, you have navigation arrows. It goes back and forth. Oh yeah, I do know about those. I forget. Yes, that's a very good point. So a fire projectile actually does the bulk of the work, right? So it does, here's the problem. The problem is I wrote this script with a set of different kinds of options for like projectile types, like hit scan versus rigid body. And it's like a dual function. Realistically, I should have split this. I should have created a base class called projectile, and then I should have created a lower class called like a child class called hit scan, and another one called rigid body projectile, and then done the calculations and all the different things that I need separately in two different scripts, and then like have them just be whatever. Like there's a problem here, and because of that, the main reason I didn't want to call fire projectile is because it assumes that there's a single raycast to do. And so what I wanted to do is essentially for the shotgun, if I want to do 12 raycasts, then when you call set projectile on a shotgun, I don't know if I've got that open. Don't. I can do different things essentially. Shotgun projectile. Oh, it's not happy because I changed the base. Let's delete that. Damage equals damage. Damage equals damage divided by split. And that's fine. And then fire projectile expected one more call. It expects damage. Right? So essentially when I call set projectile, ooh, I forgot. Sorry, I'm supposed to put it over here. My bad. So essentially, the point is I call set projectile from the weapon manager, and I go through a set of points, and I call fire projectile, essentially. So it's essentially just a base class. So don't instantiate a certain amount of projectiles with the shotgun. No. No. Because then I would need to do that in the weapon manager, and I didn't want to do that. Maybe I should have. I don't know. It's just how it is. Yeah, I don't know. It's just what I did. I'm not sure if it's good or bad. It was a long time ago. I've still got like the casing that's wrong. I can't fit the entire function call on the screen. But now I have to set the damage for all of my projectiles. So yeah. Anyway. So now that I've done that, and I put the damage on the projectile. Oh, I separated this out. There is no good or bad, just a question of if it works. Yeah, I think what I didn't want to do is have a dedicated function. So my goal was to create a class where I could make anything, if you know what I mean. So I didn't have to go, oh, I want to make a shotgun. So in the weapon manager, I'm going to have to create a separate, because this is where the shoot happens, right? Too many arguments for set property. Oh, we're going to fix it here. So set projectile actually doesn't need to have weapon damage, right? I don't need to pass in weapon damage anymore. Right? So I didn't want to go, oh, I'm going to shoot a weapon. So this is the shoot function. It's right above here. It just basically checks what the animation player is doing. Doesn't interrupt the animation player if it's going. It's still the projectile's responsibility to handle this special case. Yes. It is. Because all this does is it loads the projectile. This shot function, like the shooting function, it reduces the ammo and then loads the projectile. That's all it does. Aside from checking, it updates the UI, and it checks there's a tween that reduces the spray. Don't worry about it. But yeah. So I like this to be as basic as possible because it's already complicated with making sure it's checking. I need to set up a state machine for this thing, eh? I'm using the animation player as a state machine here. So that's a thing, but yeah. Yeah, I guess it's probably, well, we'll worry about that later, but. So now that we have separated the damage from the projectile and the weapon manager, or the resource, the weapon resource, I should say, I need to go through the projectiles. We've really only got one weapon in the game right now, so it doesn't matter too much. I've got all these different projectiles that I've made. So they do need to have a damage value. They're all set to 10 by default, right? I'm fine with that. We'll go with that. Damage. Yeah, that's fine, whatever. Good enough for me. That's what I'll say. The lingo. Oh yeah, sorry, elemental magic. Sorry, I missed your comment. Yeah, I'm not a coder by profession, I guess. So sometimes I say things and I use the wrong words. Because I've never heard anyone. I'm self-taught, I guess you would say. Okay. I kind of miss the days where I was not as knowledgeable. You know, sometimes it's ignorance is bliss is the word. Back in the day, it was just oh, I'm going to do it this way and it's fine. And yada, yada, yada. And then now it's oh, well, but because I guess you can think way further ahead versus how far ahead you could think when you were starting out. And so everything seems so possible. I mean, everything still is possible, but it's more just you see the steps involved and it becomes so sad sometimes. But yeah. Okay. Dude, that trumpet is loud in my ears. I suppose it's really low in the mix for you guys. I'm going to change the track anyway. I don't like that. Cool. Knowing correct terminology is very difficult. Yeah, it 100% is. I suppose even... I guarantee you, I've been an accountant for 10 years and I still use the wrong words. Even if I was educated, I would use the wrong words. Because I don't know, I forget stuff like that so easily. Alright. I guess this is gonna break because I've made a lot of changes. Yeah. It's okay. I guess I refactored all right. Okay, cool. So now I can create an ammo upgrade and I can pass in anything. So this is the cool part, right? Like I could turn it into a shotgun theoretically and load that up. That is actually pretty awesome. So let's make that happen. I mean, that is exactly what I did for the game jam. I made an upgrade in the game jam, the rocket launcher. So it was like, turn your assault rifle into something that shoots rocket launchers, but it had no visual effects. So it was a bit underwhelming, but it was still pretty fun. Explosive ammo, I suppose, will always be fun, just not in real life. It's a war crime. All right, so ammo upgrade. We're just going to give it a projectile to load and a damage increase. That makes sense? It probably makes more sense to put the damage here versus in the projectile to load, because if we want to put the damage increase in the projectile to load, we're going to have to make a bunch of projectile to loads. We're going to have to make a bunch of projectiles and that's kind of messy. I'd rather just have the increase here. And so we can just like pass back the same one or a different one if we want. Maybe we want ammo that slows the enemy. This is something that I've been thinking about a lot. A damage over time effect on the enemy. Something like that. It like gives it a bleed. We're just going to make a bunch of ammo that we can commit war crimes in a video game on. So yeah, we'll do that. So I'm happy with those two being the main variables that we're changing. So now I can go back to the player character. I guess I just need to create an upgrade for it. So go up to here, upgrade resources, create new. Or did I create one already? I did. Right. So let's just increase the damage by 5. And the projectile to load is the hit scan projectile, right? Basic hit scan projectile. Upgrade name. Increase hit scan 5. Right. We'll just go with that. Upgrade type. This is important. Okay. So this is how this string is basically how I'm going to know which upgrade I need to pass on. Maybe I can do away with that. I don't know. So let's upgrade mesh. We don't need. Bone. We don't need. Right. So let's double check the code then to see if that will handle okay. I don't know if I'm doing a check to see if it's okay to not have a mesh. Add upgrade. So there's a dictionary. Right, so if it hasn't been... If I haven't implemented this function, no, but this is in the base class. It's going to be empty. It's because basically before I made this, it was like, oh, well, not every not every upgrade is going to have this, but now I moved it to the base class. Every upgrade is going to be able to return an equipment upgrade. So I'm going to need to consider... Ozair, hello, welcome to the stream, how are you? I am going to need to consider what to do when they aren't set. Now, it's probably best to check in the slot. No, in the state machine. That's good, I'm glad to hear that. When we add an upgrade and we get the equipment upgrade, it's always going to return now. So we don't really need to check that. But what instead we need to do is check if these variables exist. Like, if not, well, to be honest, they both relate. So really, instead of that, I can check to see if the pack scene exists, and if it does, go ahead, rather than, right? So if upgrade dick pack scene, because that will be null, because it's a pack scene, so if I haven't given one, it's going to be empty. I think that'll work. Let's just make sure the regular upgrades still work. They do. Awesome. Okay. So, now that we've done that, we can sort of jump into the well, actually, we can probably just load up. We need to go back to the UI and the weapon upgrade UI, which is really scuffed. It's just for testing, guys. Don't worry about it. And create another upgrade list. We'll just duplicate that one. And we'll just call it ammo upgrade. I'm gonna have to move this to the side. It's gonna take up too much room. What is this? We are doing upgrades, people. So I'm sort of working on getting a system, creating a set of upgrades that we can create for our game and have them be able to be acquired in the world that the game exists in, and like have them do different things. That's essentially what I'm working on. And so I want to have 5. I've got side upgrade. That one also says side upgrade. It's the grip. And then we're going to have ammo, and then we'll have, what did I say? The muzzle and the back stock. I think are the 5 that I'm going with. We can chop and change. And we'll roll from there and sort of like see how that feels. And then the next step is going to be, where do we get these from? Right? I guess I'll have to create an inventory, which I don't want to do, but it's just going to be a part of it. I'm glad you think so. Yeah, I should probably sit down at some point and create a game design document and really like hammer out what I want this to be, so that I don't spend the next 6 months doing nothing. And like actually be like, this is what the game's going to play like, rather than me going, I want it to be about like getting upgrades and upgrading your kit, upgrading yourself. So not just the weapons, but also like the character. And then like achieving some kind of goal, which is really like at the moment kind of vague. Like I don't know what that goal is, which is like kind of pretty core to whether or not the game would be fun. If you can get strong enough to get to the place that you're trying to get to, like obviously the gameplay loop needs to be good, but also like the motivation needs to be good too. Like what are you actually trying to get to? Do you want to live longer? Do you want to try and fight a boss? What is it? So I need to like sit down and actually like really figure that out at some point. But at the moment, I guess it's kind of, I don't know if I want to do that on stream, because like I've never made a game design document. I don't know what I'm doing. It's also like storyline, maybe. there is a vague idea of what I want to do, but I want it to keep it really basic, because like the more story you put in, the more of an issue you have with like how do you tell that story. And if you're just making a game on your own, it's mostly via text and FPS games. I don't know if they go well together, but we'll see. Maybe we can. I've got an add-on for doing voiceover. I want it to be set in an apartment building. For some reason, I want it to be like, I don't know if I can do it, but like if I'm thinking procedurally generated levels, and like your goal is to like get to the top floor to fight some boss, and like it's a rogue light, right? Like if you die, you come back with all your upgrades and you can start again, right? And for some reason in an apartment building, and like something is changing the world around you. I'm going to try to explain it via lore, but yeah, it's really dumb, but it's not meant to be like deep. Okay, I'm at upgrades. Right, so yeah, this works. I don't think I need to change this code. I think I set it up so that it can just sort of be whatever. It has upgrades, and it passes the upgrades onto the weapon manager, and it's really just for testing. So we'll go with that. It just needs to have an array of upgrades, and it's just got one at the moment, and it's going to be the ammo upgrade. Right. And now that we can select it, the signal is already connected, so that's fine. What happens when we get it? What do we do? Right now, there is not anything for me to do here, right? Like, I did that wrong. Sorry about that. Get rid of this. So, the issue that we're going to have is that the upgrade button is really where the magic happens. So I changed it, right? So now it's like upgrade. The upgrade gets set, and then I initialize the upgrade. But when I initialize the upgrade, I'm making assumptions again, and we need to like be clear about how those assumptions are going to play out. So right now I am initializing the upgrade. I connect a signal, right? This is for input and also like functions, and then I upgrade the weapon, which is I believe in regards to, let me just have a look at one of them. Side upgrade, connect upgrade, disconnect upgrade. Maybe it's to do with the grip. Upgrade weapon. So this function, it passes in the weapon manager, and I don't exactly like what I'm doing here, which is like I'm passing the weapon manager to the upgrade so that it can manipulate the weapon manager. It just seemed like an easier way to keep things like separate, but it can be a bit nebulous, as in it's not always clear what's happening in the weapon manager. So there are, but at the same time, I can put this function on the ammo, and I can change the current weapon. So it's not so bad with the spray, because the spray is a string. So this is the issue. So let me think for a second. We have the weapon state machine. Where did I get the weapon model? I did post the link, but I'll post it again because it's been a couple of episodes. Go to itch. Wonder if I just like I go to itch. Maybe it'll know the history. Unrated submissions. Firefox suggests. I'm just trying to think, like, how can I get back to it? Did I do it? Ooh, I got a lot open here. I really want to find it for you, but I'm not sure about. I have to look at the history. Submission. RPG. Oh yeah, I remember that. Trees and weapons. Here we go. Download weapon asset pack. Good to know. By God knows. Okay, here we go. I found it. Yeah. Okay, great. I'm glad I was able to find that. There we go. Okay, it's coming your way. Or did it get automated? No, okay, here it is. There we go. All right. So that's the weapon. It's actually really good. So shout out to God Knows on itch. It's like the only thing they've got on that page. I think that and another game. Blip. There's a bunch of other guns too. So you can have like sniper with different things on it, which is really awesome. Like great for exactly what I'm trying to do. It was the perfect pack for testing this stuff out. It's actually an interesting thing that I'm thinking now. I moved the... I mean, yeah. I'm just thinking like, oh, if it's a pistol, it's not going to be able to have some of the upgrades that I'm making. But I guess it is what it is. Blue to Bird, hey, welcome to the stream, how are ya? Anyway, we're working on the initialize upgrades. So I think probably the biggest issue I'm going to have here is it's really cool to have different parts of weapons to upgrade them. Yeah, I think that's like, it's nice to have like the visuals. I'm really glad someone created an asset that I could like play around with that idea. So the biggest issue that I think I'm going to have with calling this upgrade.upgrade weapons is that when I start the game, I loop through every single weapon slot. So it's kind of an issue. The spray profile, I do need to pass it because I was originally like, oh well, we can pass the slot, like the actual weapon slot, and that would work. I'm trying to think. We have the weapon slot here. So probably best to include that in these function calls because we're going to need to get that information. The other alternative is to put this function. The thing is, I don't know what function I need to call on any given upgrade. That's the issue, right? Like if I want to change the projectile, which is what we're working on now, or if I want to change the spray pattern, which is what I'm working. So I think it could also be, so the reason I passed in the weapon manager rather than the slot was because the spray profile is set already. But what if instead I do this first and populate upgrades? Dude, I don't know what any of these functions do. Like, what if I do the initialize upgrade before I load the spray profile? Then I don't need to pass the manager. I can just pass the weapon slot and I can manipulate the spray profile. That would be better, be cleaner. And then I can always pass in one object, know that it's going to be manipulated somehow, but it doesn't really matter how it's manipulated. I'm just changing things on the fly if there is a change to be made, right? I think that's probably the way to go. But what does populate upgrades do? Because I've forgotten already. Weapon slot. Oh, it just creates an array. Yes, because I can't do that because it's a resource, so onReady doesn't work. So I just need to create a function. Right. Okay, so that's a good point. I'm glad I realized that I do need to update that with the other upgrades in this array. Otherwise, this is never going to work. It's not the best, but it's just how I know that these things go. Because otherwise, these will never have anything attached to them. Or like, no, you can't create an array. I could create an array, like onReady doesn't even exist for resources, but like, if I created an array and I said that it's got these objects in it, they would all be null because like it's created before they like have a variable inside of them. It's so dumb. So I have to create a function to actually like populate all of those. So now that I've done that, okay, that's important. Glad I checked it. I do think upgrade slots, or we just get a copy of the variable. So we don't really need to do that. We can just, the music changed in a strange way. It's fine. It's fine. We don't really need to get a copy of that. We can just go for I in weapon slot.upgrades. That's fine. But this first one we leave because that's just checking to make sure that there is a weapon slot and that it does have a weapon in it. We just do this before we do the weapon spray. And now we pass in the weapon slot as well. So for I in upgrades, initialize upgrade, and also weapon slot. Right, and so this takes an upgrade and a slot, and this is a weapon slot. And so now, we still need to pass in the weapon manager for connecting the signals because that's like functions that directly relate to things that happen in here, like the aim down sights. We got to pass that on somehow because resources can't detect input. That's another thing to consider. So that just that function tells blue. Tube story. Hello. The word blue. What do you mean? Or are you talking to somebody? Anyway. JJ, you're about to get banned. Okay, bye. I won't ban you, I'll just put you in a timeout. Anyway. Right. Back to it. Upgrade should be a weapon manager, but it is a weapon slot. Well, guess what? I'm about to change all of that. Weapon slot. Smashing his keyboard. Yeah, I don't know what the deal was there. And some people get weird when the chat's on screen. Sometimes people get a bit strange. Weapon upgrades. And upgrade weapon now takes a weapon slot instead. Alright, that should be much nicer to deal with. And we don't have to worry about like what weapon slot we actually need to change. And so now the only function using that was the grip. So we can go to the grip upgrade and just check that. Okay, so it doesn't need to do this anymore. Slot, it's a weapon slot. Instead of changing the spray profile in the array on the weapon manager, which is kind of messy to begin with. Spray profile dot. Oh, right. We got access to the spray profile. We can actually just change the spray profile. Is that what I want? God damn. I thought this refactor would be a good idea. But actually, maybe it's not. Maybe this is a bad idea. Maybe I shouldn't do it this way. No. I still ultimately think it's probably for the best. But the question becomes, when this is all done, will there be a video? Yeah, I mean, probably. I need to get back into making long form content. It's been something that like I got really cold on. I had like a video do very poorly, and I was a bit, what's the word, bullish on the sponsor charge, and I felt really bad, and it sort of threw me into like a bit of a loop. And then I didn't really make a long form for a while. I haven't made one since February. And so, yeah, I do need to like make one, and sort of like, it's hard sometimes. Well, obviously I'm not going to do a sponsor on it, but yeah, I do need to make more. They are a lot of effort for like the return that you get on them. But I need to start making long form content again. But my pride was hurt, and I feel bad. It's so dumb. It's so dumb. Okay, so how am I going to do this? I guess I have to load the spray profile. It's a pack scene. That's fine. The problem is, I cannot change the spray value because it's a pack scene. It's a little bit different. Oh, for the weapon slot. I suppose the way around this is a stat sheet, right? Like at the end of the day, the way around this kind of issue is a stat sheet. The more I'm thinking about it, there are going to be things where I want to change it completely. I'm sorry, what are you making a script for? I'm sort of refactoring the way that the function for upgrading the weapon actually operates. I was feeding it the weapon manager. I thought that was a bit messy. I want to feed it the slot. I'm realizing that's not going to work either. And really, I need like a stat sheet that each of these objects can check and pull from. But how I go about doing that is another big question. Like, how's that going to work? So if we have like, oh yeah, well, you have a grip, which reduces the amount of spray that happens. You have like, oh, this ammo equip. So that one is a little bit easier to deal with. Maybe you want it to have like a greater magazine, all that kind of stuff. We need to change the values. But this one's different. It needs to change the pack scene. That's really at the end of the day, that's what it has to do. It has to change the pack scene. For it to work. Stat sheets are... I'm going to need more time to think about if I want to do that. But for now, rather than the spray amount, we're going to need to just like export var new spray. And it's going to need to be a pack scene. And now you can go weapon manager, rather. Exactly the feature you wanted to add to your game, a stat sheet. Yeah. I mean, it is one of those things when you start playing around with the player being able to like change what their character can do. Like, it's like, how do you get that information going around? I did it with a singleton in the past, and that worked really well. And I'm not really, it's not that I'm trying to avoid using a singleton, I just wanted to try and come up with a better way, if that makes sense. I wanted to experiment with this. Classes and inheritance, and a little bit of, what's the other word that people like to use? Components, like they are components, and they use a little bit of inheritance to, like, you know, get around. But slut dot a weapon dot spray, weapon spray, and then spray profile. Well, I created a function for it too. Don't even need that. We just go spray profile oh, that's not the right one. Equals new spray. We just replace it. That's going to be what I have to do. The parent signature is upgrade weapon manager void. That is not true. I changed the function. It's weapon slot. It's weapon slot. Come on, mate. I hate this. It's actually so annoying. Like, it's like, just, do I have to reload the project for this to work? Like, why isn't it actually, like, updating that? I saved them both. Can I run the game? Will it work? It won't, because it is expecting a weapon manager, not a weapon slot. Project. Reload current project. Annoying. It's actually kind of annoying. You might have to reload. Yeah, it is what it is. It's like, I don't want to, but attempted to assign an object into a typed array that does not inherit from GDScript. Interesting. Never seen that error before, but I guess it is what it is. It seems to be happy. Cannot assign a value type pack scene to a variable spray profile with specific, yeah, good point. This is actually now a pack scene. Hello and good whatever time is now. It is 9:30 p.m. I really hate the balloon noises in this song. It's good otherwise. But I'm going to change it. Probably so quiet you guys can't even hear it. I just need to have something going in my ears. I used to watch anime while I coded, but I can't do that on stream. That would be a bit strange. All right. This will work now. But I guess the question remains. We have to give it a new spray. So we have to create a new spray. Copyright lawyers would come for you. Yeah, for sure. Like, well, on YouTube, I think I could get away with it on Twitch. I think I could. How many times you face annoying issues in Godot, and what are they? Well, that one for sure is probably the most annoying thing. There are a little bit, like there are, you know, you do get the odd, like, strange behavior for sure. I don't like working with the animation player. It's actually really annoying. And it's missing a lot of, like, if it was, okay, so like, I'm not saying it needs to be this way, but, and like, obviously this is a game engine, But if we had like an animation that was like, if we had the ability to like do bone animation, that would be great. If it was as good as Blender's animations, that would be really awesome. What are your improvement points for the... What are your improvement points for the EFA? It got blurred out. I didn't know. Did you do that, or is it just automatic? Do I have to check my my content filtering? I don't actually know. But yeah, I would really like to see like a more feature complete animation. Sweet. Bot filter. What are your... Bot filter, yeah. Japanese people have talent, but not good humor. Or they just draw what they think is cool, and cool but also childish. That's weird. Like they would say that. I don't think it's got anything to do with the people. And I actually think a lot of their stuff is pretty funny. So I think you're just wrong, but that's just me. Animation player. What are my improvements for the animation player? Yeah, I think I really want bone animation in Godot, and I don't know if that's asking too much. But yeah, I don't know. That's the button. So we need to create a new spray. So we've got the basic. I don't know how you can focus while at the same time watching anime, but the best I can do is working and listening to podcast news. Well, it needs to be in English, number one. Like you can't watch subtitles. Otherwise you will not be able to watch it because you can't look at it all the time. So it's mostly like you have to put on something that isn't super interesting, if that makes sense. Like One Piece, for example. There's a lot of filler and a lot of stuff you don't need to pay attention to, in my opinion. It's good sometimes, but most of the time there's just like, I've got 1,000 episodes to get through. I'm like up to episode 400 or something. Probably not even that. I actually don't know where I'm at with that. It's been a while since I've watched it. But like, yeah, something like that where it's not like super intense. It's just light. And yeah, you do stop. You switch in between the two. And you can tell already that I'm like a little bit crazy. So like, that's fine for me. I just need to stop every so often, look at something else, take my mind off it. I don't know if I'm making sense. Anyway, so we've got a spray profile. We need to put the vaccine in the weapon spray, which means I need to create an upgradable weapon spray. It's kind of annoying, but we'll go with it. Spray profile 1, 2, 3, random spray. So I guess I can duplicate it. It'd be much better if I could just implement a, yeah, I'm gonna have to look at something else for this random spray one, because it's kind of sucky that I have to open up this and change this to be like 2 instead of 4, or it's still 4, but there is a path spray. There's another variable here somewhere called stat change, and we can export this. There's a lot of stuff already. So are you recent One Piece after the show, or you come back to the story? You might have to reword that. I don't actually understand what you're asking. After the show. Do I rewatch it? No, I don't. Sometimes I don't know what's going on. Oh, am I a recent fan? Sorry. Hey, Mr. Forgettable, welcome to the stream. How are ya? Am I a recent fan? Yes. I'm not a recent fan of anime, but I am a recent fan of One Piece because I'll be honest with you, when I was younger, I didn't like shonen anime. it was like, I was too pretentious. I was like, nah, this is for kids. But then like I actually gave it a chance and it's pretty fun. If you don't, it's like, it's just not serious. How's it going? I'm doing okay. We're still working through this upgrade system. We're having a bit of a problem right now because I don't know exactly what I want to do to improve the spray. We had it solved and now I made it a problem again. Yeah, I was not like all that kind of like that kind of stuff. I had my roommate back in university. He'd be like, yo, you should watch like Naruto and One Piece and stuff like that. And I'd be like, nah, dude, that's for kids. And I'd be watching like, I guess, what was like something that I was really into at the time? I'm trying to think. Like I really liked Clannad. I liked sort of like more real life stuff, which is not, Clannad's kind of weird. Psycho Pass, I guess, is a good example. It's like sci-fi and kind of serious. I love stories I can't predict. Yeah. I just like, I do prefer like the more serious kind of anime. Like, I guess Psycho Pass is the best example I can think of something recently that I watched. Where it's like, it's basically just a regular TV show. Like, it could be a live action show, no problems. And it would still be good. Death Note. I remember watching that way back in the day when it was coming out. Actually, I might have even watched it after the fact. When did Death Note come out? I watched it in 2007, for sure. I was in high school. 2006. I watched it the year after it came out. I watched it in like I must have binged it in like the weekend. Hello, yes, Godot, Indie Gates. Welcome to the stream. Yes, we love Godot here. But although we're a little bit distracted talking about anime at the moment. Yeah, Death Note was great. I binged it in a weekend. I like Japanese games. When you play it, you notice how hard they push to be serious. Thank you so much for the follow, Indie Gates. I really appreciate that. Have I watched Monster? I tried. I don't know if it was like, this was back before streaming. It's recent. It's old, right? I think I had a hard time getting a copy. Yeah, it is old. Yeah, I think I had a hard time getting a copy. I wonder if it's on, is it on Crunchyroll now? It's probably on Netflix. Super annoying. I only have a Crunchyroll sub at the moment. Top results. Nah, it's not here. So yeah, I'll have to. Yeah, I had a really hard time getting a copy of it. And then, yeah, I watched maybe the first 10 episodes. What kind of game am I making? Right now, we are working on an FPS game. It's going to crash because too few arguments for initialize upgrade. Okay, it's just going to crash. Expected at least 2, but received 1. Current weapon slot. Here we go. Yeah, okay, so we're working on an FPS game where we can upgrade the sights are gone. The grips are gone. Oh, that's right, because I'm changing them. We can make changes to it. So we can put a scope on it. We can put a laser on it. Oh, no. Ban the bot. Ban the bot. Get out of here. So yeah, that's what we're doing at the moment. We're making progress, but I'm sort of having to like very realistic inspect function. Yeah, 100%. It just floats up onto the screen. And then just things pop out. So that's what we're doing right now. I suppose the issue, I've never touched 3D game making. 2D is enough for you. Yeah, I mean, I think I agree in a way. Kind of, maybe at some point I'll go back to 2D because it does feel like a little bit cozier in terms of like it. I get this feeling that a wireless gun, yeah. There are no arms yet. Arms will come later, and I suppose that's the disadvantage of 3D, if you're not like a 3D artist, it can be a little bit overwhelming. And to me, I'm not like much of a 3D artist, so when time comes for 3D art, I will have to, you know, figure that out. Have I built an FPS controller before? And what does this different than before? Okay, so yeah, I have. I've been making an FPS game, or like working on an FPS game. I made a template for Godot 3, and I made one for Godot 4 when that came out, and now I'm trying to make my own. And the difference between all three is that the Godot 3 FPS controller used classes to control what the weapons were. So basically you had to instantiate each weapon as you picked it up, and queue it free when you dropped it. The Godot 4 one uses resources, as I'm a big supporter of, and this particular version of it is that same weapon manager system, or FPS controller, but with the upgrades. That's about the only difference. Like, I just took a copy of that add-on that I let people download. So if you like go to the quit the project list, save and quit. So if you are a Godot user, if you don't know, I feel like I push it a lot. If you search for Godot in the asset library, Godot, I think I just called it a first person controller. Godot first person. Here we go, first person shooter template. I don't know why, but I decided to put FPS instead of, it's probably a bad choice, I don't know. But yeah, if you want to download an FPS template for Godot, you can do that. I did make it. It hasn't been updated in a couple months. When Godot 4.3 comes out, I'll push an update for sure. There's a lot of features. It can do a lot. There's a lot it can't do, but it can do a lot. And if you're just wanting to look at how an FPS controller could be made, then this is a way to do it. Hashtag ad. Mr. Forgettable, this is free. Although, maybe we can add, you can buy a version of this with a rig animated by me. So take that with a grain of salt. I just said I'm not the best at 3D animation, but there is a version of it with a rig that you can purchase, and you're mostly paying for the rig because everything else is the same. There's like procedural weapon sway, which someone wanted me to put in. I was like talking with someone about making a game with them, and they were like, I really want it to be procedural weapon spray. And I made it, and they were like, actually, I changed my mind. I don't want to work with you anymore. So I decided to put it on the market and sell it. Pretty funny. So that's on itch. It's in the description. Anyway, now it is a hashtag ad. Let's get back to FPS game, maybe. Alright, so the issue we've got. Let's go to... Coding is much harder. Strong disagree. I actually think coding is easier. Okay, so I'm a little bit sidetracked. I want to work on the grip. Yes. Grip upgrade. It needs spray. So, random spray 1. And grip upgrade 2. We'll do the exact same one. Because, why not? Random spray 1. Alright, and if we go back to the testing UI, let's go to 2D. Yeah, this label needs to be updated. Not super important because it's not going to be seen by anybody. It doesn't have any elements because I changed the thingo. Okay, there's like holy music. I don't know what it is. Like people in that song, and it was tripping me out. I thought I was really worried when making a game. Is it really practical to put both programming and 3D modeling on one person? No, I don't think so. I think it's probably, if you're making a 3D game, what I see a lot of, and maybe this is just selection bias, like people online that are successful either are working in a team or they are people who were 3D artists and they decided they wanted to make their own game and they learned how to code. And the good thing about that is you can be bad at coding and still make a good game. You can be bad at art and still make a good game. It's just a lot harder to get people to want to play it, in my opinion. I don't know why, but this song, well, they have like 30 years of experience. Yeah. This particular song by Kevin MacLeod, is that his name? It's like, it really gives me like Final Fantasy VII vibes. No, Final Fantasy VIII vibes. But I guess it's more like just detective music. Like I'm supposed to be sitting here planning a heist or something, or I am for some reason in that train village in Final Fantasy VIII. Should I be able to sell it for $30? I sell it for $5. Rubbery Bob vids. Yeah. So I guess if I go to Brave, because I am not signed in on Brave and I don't want to be signed in. So, I sell a bunch of different things. I sell sounds as well. I made some sounds. I got back into sound design because I know how to use like audio software. So I made a bunch of sounds, but they don't sell that well. It was just an experiment. But it's on sale for $2.50 AUD, so Australian dollars. But normally I sell it for $5. There's a reason for that. And it's not like, yeah, I think there's like coding is shitting on my face every day. Yeah, it's sometimes like that. But I think the biggest reason for me, number one, the animations are kind of not amazing. So it's not like you could put this in a game and it would be considered AAA. It's just me. I made an arm. I like the textures or like all the stuff done here is like something that I can license out. That's the hard part, right? So like I can't purchase a really good rig and then sell it. Most licenses only allow you to use it in your game, right? So if you purchase a rig, that's generally a limitation on reselling it. I'd probably have to work with someone, which means revenue splitting. And the weapons that I'm using, the models, are all CC0. I don't have to give credit and I can sell them, right? So the two together make it so that I own the rights and I can distribute it legally. And I've animated myself so that like it's just all done by me, which means I don't have to worry about licensing or anything like that. But I feel like $5 is fair because number one, even though I have worked with Blender for like a long time and I've completed like a course, so I know how to use the software, I'm not the best at it. And so like there are things in it that are just not that great. And so I think $5 is fair for what it is. You get a pretty good starting point. And, you know, if you're looking to learn how to do all this stuff, it's all there. And you can actually swap the rig out. So I've done it in a way that you could just make it work with anything. IK kind of sucks in Godot. So it would be hard, but you could do it. If someone said that's what they wanted, I would help them with that. But yeah, I think $5 is fair. Anyway. Maybe one day I can sell it for 30 or 60 bucks. If you go on Unity, there's ones that are that expensive. But not today. You can get it free animation assets near polish level and add them to the project. Yeah, I could do that. People do sell those. Excuse me. I should look into it. 5 is good. I think 5 is fair. I'm not like trying to, because a lot of people, yeah, I wouldn't be comfortable selling it for more than that. Okay, we got grips. I got a bit distracted there, but it should be fine. Let's see if we can make this work. Issues. We're still going to have issues. And the issue is that if I add a hand grip, that's fine. It's not actually going to change the spray because the spray's already been instantiated. And I'm an idiot. It should be half as big, right? But if I switched weapons, can I switch weapons? And then switch back? No, I don't think I even initialize more than once. So, go back to the script. We're going to have to modify it a little bit. Get rid of this. Okay. So, where we're calling initialize upgrades, we might just need to call initialize. Where's initialized? Right. So this is probably better because then we'll instantiate and replace the spray. So we call this instead, which means we're going to reconnect all the stuff. So we might end up with errors. We might need to call uninitialize upgrades. Or it's just one line. I could just paste it in. So create a function for it. That's generally the way to go. I literally just want this. Oops. So if I create a function, add spray profile, right? And it's going to take weapon spray. Spray profile, which is actually a pack scene, right? You would never guess. It's not going to return anything. I need to get the habit of actually doing that more often. And we're basically just going to do this. Do you think this project right now, total GDScript, exceeds 2,000 lines? I would estimate probably closer to 1,000. Because this is the biggest script and it's only 350. And I know that the player character isn't even that complicated. It's complicated, but it's not like this. Like the player character would be the next biggest one, right? And I mean, lines aren't really like that good of a measure. It's 270. Lines aren't like a measure of anything really at the end of the day. Doesn't really tell you if a project has been worked on for a long time or if it's, I don't know, actually. I'd need to ask someone who works in the industry. It's not super complex right now. Yeah, I guess it would be like, I would want to know, like maybe if someone's in the chat that actually like works in the industry, is lines of code a metric people use? Because intuitively, I think it wouldn't be a good metric for like anything really. Maybe it is a metric for complexity. I don't know. But other than that, I'm lost. I'm trying to go to the weapon state machine. Right, we're creating a function here. Instead of that, it's going to be this. I guess it needs a slot as well. Cyrix, hey, welcome to the stream. But it's the closest, fastest way to measure. Yeah, I suppose that's true. I guess you always need metrics for things. You can't always if that makes sense. Yeah, no, actually, yeah, I think you're right. Fair enough. Weapon slot dot weapon spray. We call add spray profile here. And it wants the slot, which is the weapon slot. And it wants the spray profile, which is this. Right? So we do those two things, which is fine. And now we can call this function. It is a function we can call. But maybe a signal would be better. Well, that's loud. So, I guess to give you guys context about why I'm struggling with this is because I don't want to dedicate a check in this function to say like, oh, it's a, like, I don't want to do like a match and say like, hey, is it an ammo upgrade? Is it a grip upgrade? What should I do? I don't want to do that. I just want to pass in the upgrade and like make it so that it just does the right thing. Which sounds insane now that I say it out loud. Why am I always trying to do it this way? It just feels better. I've got a function called add spray profile. So this can do what I need to do, but how do I know when to call it? That's the next question, right? So when we initialize the upgrade, we could check to see if it is a grip upgrade and then do it. But we also have a function called upgrade weapon where we pass the slot, which isn't really going to help us because, you know, and we don't want to call initialize upgrades every time, right? So the other thing that is an option is we could just call this function initialize, but we don't know when to uninitialize something. Like this will call initialize upgrade on every single upgrade, and we don't need to do that. But we do need to add the spray profile. Jeez, it was easier the other way. So, does the right thing mean you have to build a state machine which is enum based or string based? Yeah, I will need to do that eventually, I think. But for this in particular, I don't want to. I want to avoid doing that, and I know that I can. I probably just need to make a signal in the grip upgrade. So we get upgrade button. So it's going to do something very specific, right? We have access to the pack scene. We have access to the slot. The slot could emit a signal. So basically the issue I'm having is they don't really talk to each other like that. Like I'm calling this function. They don't know each other like that. You know what I'm saying? They don't have that kind of relationship. It's like, how can we get them to talk to each other in a way that isn't going to require me to do like a million checks for each different kind of thing? That being said, I am just doing 5 different kinds of upgrades. But, so I could just do a match. It's not that bad. 5 is okay. But what if I want to expand on that? It seems like I'm having this much trouble anyway, right? The grip could have the slot emit a signal to say that the data has changed. The upgrade could emit a signal. We could have a signal in the upgrade. What good's that going to do? Connect upgrade signal. Weapon manager. That's the jam with the bigger project scalability. Yeah. Yeah, I guess that's why I'm trying to think about it like this. Like, how can I do it in a way that I'm not going to screw myself over in the long run? And it's a bit difficult because you don't exactly know what it's going to look like in the distant future. But the last thing you want to do is be like going through like a million lines trying to figure out what exactly you need to change when you want to change a single variable or the way that things behave, rather than just going to that specific function knowing that it's the only thing that's doing it. So I could use the connect upgrade signals function to do this. Have a messenger object which will deal with communication between the objects so you don't have spaghetti code. Yep. That's essentially what these are, or what I could build into this. Because at the end of the day, the upgrades, like if I think about the structure of this, where's GIMP? This lovely drawing here. Let's get rid of this nonsense. Oh wow, my computer couldn't handle that. There's too much going on right now. Cancel. So the way it works right now is you have this state machine, right? So this is like the top level weapon state machine. It didn't fit. And it has slots, and it can have any number of these. And it has weapons. And it can have only one. Look on the observe pattern design, build a design pattern. They will help you with big projects. I have actually done this before with a singleton and the observer pattern. Don't worry, I know it's more of a question of how rather than what. So these all have like little weapons, but now they all also have upgrades, right? And they can have, well, there's 5 of them, right? But times 5. Times 5. So we just need to communicate back to you. And where am I is saying observer pattern? Yeah. I've done that. It works really well, to be honest. But only at this level. Realistically, the weapon state machine could be the observer. Really, like, we don't need, like, they all have access. Like, weapon state machine can access any number of these. Like, it has direct access to it because it can query the slot, it can query the upgrade. So the upgrade can emit a signal for sure, and signal up, which is the, like, you know, they should be able to communicate with each other for sure. But what does that signal look like? Which is the question I'm asking myself. Because I could easily create a signal. So, okay, so look at the flow, right? We've got connect upgrade signals and then upgrade weapon. We're calling these two functions when we first bring in the upgrade. We're connecting the signals that we're talking about, right? So we can easily have a signal for the add spray profile function. Realistically, so we could go to the grip upgrade and go to the weapon upgrade, and well, actually, go back up one. Weapon. The grip upgrade could have a signal called spray profile changed. Right. And then the func called connect upgrade signals connect. What's the function called? Connect upgrade signals? Why didn't it come up? We got this function here, right? We get access to the weapon manager so that we can actually connect the signals that we need to connect. And then we can go weapon manager. No, spray profile. Changed dot connect, right? The callable is actually on the weapon manager. Weapon manager dot spray initialize upgrades and spray profile. Spray profile. What's the function called? Add spray profile. Okay. Add spray profile. Okay, so now that we've got the signal, we can just go spray profile changed, and we can pass back this slot and the it's really just a slot, right? Like, it doesn't need anything else. What does it take? Oh, it takes the spray profile. Okay, well, we can pass that too. We have it. So spray profile. All right. This will work. Spray profile changed is not a function. Dot emit. There we go. Right. WSM is working like the observer plus logic. I need to do some research on to like conceptually I know what they are, but like I don't actually know. I don't know. Does that make sense? Man, doing this in front of people really exposes me. So funny. Okay. So the grips should now be able to change the spray. And we'll be able to observe that by doing some spraying. Excuse me. Okay. That's one. And grip one. I might need to do a printout because I can actually, well, I can probably just inspect it. Remote. Look at all these sprites. player. Weapon manager. Spray profiles. Blaster eye. Random spray multiplier is 3. So I guess it worked. Because it started off as 4. What if I make this like really low? I'm glad. Okay. I think now it's going to be really... Yeah, it's working. That's awesome. It's, okay, awesome. So I just need to create... The only issue I don't like about that is that I have to create a new spray profile every time that I want to upgrade the grip. How much of a hassle that is going to be, I guess, remains to be seen at the end of the day. So that's the grip. The ammo is what was I working on? I got a little bit distracted there trying to refactor that function because I want to upgrade the ammo, right? Now, what did I want the ammo to do? The ammo upgrade just has a projectile to load and a damage increase. Which, in hindsight, is actually a bit of an issue. So I think I will need to look into like some kind of stat sheet. So maybe like we do go to like a singleton. I don't think it needs to be a singleton. It could probably sit on the slot. It needs to sit somewhere above that all of these different things can query, because it's getting to that point. So like it has, so basically the ammo has the same issue. I probably spent too much time trying to fix that. Well, I don't know. I'm kind of happy with the solution we came up with because I didn't like that we were just manipulating the dictionary manually. Like having that function there is nice. That's better. But this has the same issue. We can easily add this projectile to load. But how do we know what damage to increase it by? Like, low key, like where does that go, right? It needs to be something that the projectile can query. It needs to be something that the spray can query if it wants to change the amount that it sprays. So I think, yeah, I'm going to have to make like a stat sheet for this so that I can pull all that information together. And I just need to think about where I want that to sit. Because we only want it to be affecting the weapon that is like the attachment is attached to. So having this all on the slot is fine. We just need to feed that information. So because yeah, otherwise I'm just down the same road, having to create a bunch of different projectiles that are the same but have slightly different stats. Super annoying. Especially if we want different upgrade types. Having a projectile to load is important if we wanted to do specifically different things. Damage increase though. Maybe. Bear like lion, how are you? Welcome to the stream. Maybe. I don't know. It's a question. It's a question for the next stream, I think. Which will be on Monday. So we will have to leave it there. But yeah, I'm going to have to think about this. I'll think about this over the next couple of days and think about where I want it to go. Working on a big patch for my game, just launched on Steam. That just launched on Steam? What game did you launch, man? That's awesome. Congratulations. I'm going to stalk your page. The game is called Survivalscape. Ah, I see. Well, I mean, there's not that many people watching, but we'll promote. Oh, it's like Vampire Survivors, yeah? That's awesome, dude. Fast-paced auto shooter bullet hell. Select your hero from a diverse roster, each boasting unique abilities and playstyles. Battle relentless waves of animation, gather crystals, and level up. Nice. What engine did you use? Did you use Godot? Did you use Unity? It's been a whirlwind of a week. Yeah, that's awesome, dude. You use Godot. That's awesome. And I guess, I mean, it's a question because I'm doing upgrades, right? Did you use Singleton to keep track of your upgrades? How did you do that? Because I'm struggling with it right now. About like, not struggling with it so much as how to do it, but more struggling as what way I want to do it, I guess. Player autoload Singleton with stats dictionary. Yeah, right. I'm feeling like I'm gonna have to do that myself. I kind of wanted to avoid it because at the end of the day, like, a weapon is like only at a certain point in the scene tree. It's just on like I feel like it doesn't need to go beyond that, but I think I will need to because so many different things need to pull information from it. Add stats with cooldown upgrades modifiers ticked. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think I might need to do the same thing. I'm gonna think about it. Or maybe I can just make the weapon manager it won't be a singleton, but it will behave like one. Maybe. It's thought. Anyway, Survivalscape on Steam now. All right, I am going to sleep. Thank you guys for hanging out. It's been a good session. I think we're making progress. It's slow progress, I know. It has been a week of working on this. Actually, 2 now. I don't know. When was the stream? How long have I been doing this now? Live. Am I making a game? 2 weeks ago. Yeah, so I've been working on this for like 2 weeks now. It's going to be a while before we get something. It is what it is. These things take time. When I'm not doing a game jam, I like to go slow. I also haven't been streaming that much. Alrighty. Alrighty. I have to do the shout out for the Patreon. I still don't have a I don't have an image for that. I need an overlay. I just use GIMP. It's ghetto over here. Alright. I'll zoom out a bit. Okay. Is the same controller on itch? Yes. The FPS controller that is free is available on itch as well as the Godot asset store. So if you need any one of those, if you want to get the FPS controller, it is on itch. So let me just pull that up since you asked before we go. So we've got the FPS Pro, but we also have the Godot 4 FPS controller, which is free. It might be a few updates behind. You know, I haven't checked. It's on GitHub as well. I think the links are in the description because you're on YouTube, right? So like, I'm pretty sure the links are in the description. FPS Pro template, chefgames.com. Oh, I'm linking to my website. Don't download it from there. Download it from GitHub. It's the best place to get it at the moment. Slash chef me, right? I'm assuming that's how it works. Yep, that's me. Because here you will get the most up-to-date version. So yeah, if you want to check it out. All right. I also have documentation. It's not the best, but it's there. Okay. Supporters. Gyps, Holly Hazard, Color Pants, Rab, Big Green, Nike, Jice, Bricky T, YGG, Scoremonger, and Mr. Sparkle here on Twitch. Well, I'm on both platforms, but on Twitch. Anyway, so yeah, that is the shout out. So if you want to support me, you can do so on Patreon, patreon.com/chefgames, or you can become a member on YouTube, or you could put your Prime support on Twitch. In most instances, you'll get a shout out. The higher tiers get access to assets that I've made, like the FPS Pro controller, and of course, an hour of my time each month if you want help with your game. Although, if you watch the stream, maybe you don't want help with my help from me. But yeah, awesome guys. We will switch over to the ending soon. It's been a good one. What do we want to go out on? Play some music. Some music. I guess I need to find someone to raid to. I don't have that many viewers on Twitch right now, but BG music. Let's go with. I don't want it to be long. Try hard. Whoa, playing two at the same time. Sorry about that. All right, guys. Catch you later.